very patiently and very intelligently while taking calculated risks.
I mean, each Baron fight we have seen was Shrimp running around the backside. Each time, it's been a deja vu. They're always being put in that situation. And we'll see if FlyQuest can do it once more. Dignitas starting off on the blue side, as we said. Changing things up from the beginning, refresh the mentality.
And this is the first time that FlyQuest will be on the red side in this series, because Dig chose red side for game 1, then FlyQuest chose blue side for game 2. So they're trying to change something up, and it will mix up the pick and bans a little bit. They're taking away the Zaya, which has been so good for Turtle. They're also taking away Galio, which High has gone to actually 2 games in a row and has been quite effective on it.
This is the one thing that FlyQuest has banned throughout every, I should say, Dignitas. Oh no, FlyQuest did ban, I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth now that they switched sides and they're both yellow. My brain has been confused, so they pick it up. It has been tried. They've been trying to keep it away, but now we could see Dignitas with a bit more demolition on these turrets and accelerating their game pace.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is getting a very big pick for Altec. You can see that Tristana has been very effective in the NA LCS. 64% win rate is pretty impressive with a large amount of games, right? This has been such a good champion for such a big amount of teams. You can see why it is such high priority, but hit scaling with scaling. They're going to go right back to the Kog'Maw. So Kog'Maw was played in game 1 by Altec. So he was not able to actually make it work. We're going to see if Turtle can do so in game number 3. Also going to be very interested to see what supports are actually paired along with this. If Elimination wants to go for an early drafted support, something like the Lulu or the Janna, trying to protect this Kog'Maw, or if they're going to be comfortable playing a more aggressive lane and just relying on Turtle's position.
I kind of like this from Dignitas, saying we're getting what we want in those comfort positions. They're going to be strong, they're going to feel good.
I mean, Dignitas is basically going with the most standard possible composition so far. Gragas, extremely standard tank jungler. You have Orianna, which is a catch-all that can also protect your Tristana, which is pretty high priority in the NALCS and also a scaling threat. So they're drafting well across the board. The Rek'Sai, a little bit surprising to me, coming out here from Moon, but it is something that can duel and have a lot of early game power, which Moon has been kind of leaning towards. They also are going to need a tank probably from the jungle, because they have been really wanting to play multiple frontline comps, and we now have High on the Syndra instead of that tanky Galio. So I am expecting probably just another tank in the top lane from Balls, unless they really think they can get an advantageous matchup. This does somewhat limit their support options, though, especially if Dig wants to double up on those support bans for the Kog'Maw. We'll see if they want to take something like Lulu away, or if they are more worried about playmaking. You know, they can target some of the other picks here from Elimination. I think that both options can work pretty well. And although most people think of Kog'Maw as a champion that fits into more defensive style compositions, you can sometimes see that very aggressive compositions also work, because if your team is actually diving forward, that can create the space that you need to get the damage out anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, in a different position, we saw Niski kind of do that as well, and did very well in the Kog'Maw that game. So Turtle picks up the Rakan for Elimination. They still keep that in the composition.
I think that this Alistar pick is so smart, though. 2 very low mobility carries. The Syndra and the Kog'Maw will be extremely vulnerable. You've banned away the Janna. They did not pick Morgana or anything like that who can kind of deny these engages from the Alistar. So this is extremely potent engage and follow-up. And they're also going to follow that up with a very heavy bully lane for Someday. He wants to be winning these 1v1s. He wants to be playing lane dominant, but for the most part, Balls has held his own, and Balls has been able to neutralize, or at least absorb and not allow Someday to take over.
Oh boy.
All right.
He says, all right, you're going to shoot me a lot. I'll just continue to sustain. I'm Cho'Gath in lane.
Yeah, and I mean, you can sustain through it if you can get to a certain stage, but Jace has such a big advantage in the early stages, and Cho'Gath has to actually have access to the minions to get the last hits and get that sustain from his passive. And very famously, we actually saw SKT in their losing game against Longzhu in the finals of the LCK Huni played Cho'Gath into Khan's Jace, got absolutely slammed, was down 3 levels very, very early into the game. And
I remember that now.
that's something that can happen if you put that focus up the top side, because you take an advantageous matchup, you snowball it, and you now have Jace who can actually focus on those turrets pretty well. So that's going to be where a lot of the pressure is being put from Dignitas. But I mean, if Balls can actually just build to sustain himself in lane, build to survive and hold on in that lane, he will be effective. He will be that damage soak. And
yeah. It's funny how it changed. First 2 games, FlyQuest says, down and dirty, fighting teams, let's go. Dignitas was on the scaling list. Now, flop that back. FlyQuest looking to scale up into the late game here. Get Cho'Gath big, get that Kog'Maw big, and Dignitas is now going to light the fuse early. Try to get himself into some of these fights. Get aggressive. Hashtag Digwin, hashtag FlyWin.
I mean, Dignitas certainly has some good scaling of their own with the Orion and the Tristana.
Yeah, true. They can still keep going.
That Jace, similar to the Nidalee, it's more a kind of that early game champion. Sometimes it can be very hard to find effectiveness in the late game unless you've already built an advantage for yourself in the early stages. So this should be a very exciting game. I'm also interested to see what Balls takes as his actual item build, because most players do just rush straight towards a Righteous Glory or something along those lines. I do really enjoy, actually, though, seeing players stop and go towards a Bramble Vest and Ninja Tabis. I think that it's so effective against a ranged auto attacker in lane, and we saw Balls do similar things like that against the Renekton, and sometimes building to actually just survive can be very good, because that's all you have to do against Jace, right? You don't necessarily need to get straight to teamfight effectiveness, because if you can just neutralize the lane and farm it out, well, Jace is going to be naturally less useful later.
All right, setting up the line of scrimmage. Game point for FlyQuest to move on to face Counter Logic Gaming. Dignitas probably like that revenge match, get themselves back in, and another chance at that match against Cloud9, and then moving on to the special spot, getting into that plan.
Yeah, getting that 3rd seed for North America is the prize that all these teams are chasing, and it's a long road, honestly, to be able to actually get there from where these 2 teams are. Even if you win this best of 5, you then have to win 2 consecutive best of 5s afterwards. So starting in those higher seeded spots is really quite coveted.
9 straight wins. So far, FlyQuest has 2 of those. 3rd one will move them on here. Dignitas pulls out a team that says, we are going to stop that right now. Pretty volatile composition, and we start things off with a hard pull on red. Raptor start for Shrimp. And help himself to get a little accelerated start in the beginning of things. Wild Turtle Elimination getting pretty tough on this bot lane here, though. May easily have that early level 2 and some control.
Certainly going to be looking for that, as Turtle Elimination have been playing so well. You can see Turtle not going for the Storm Raider Surge, is actually going Warlords, so trying to play a little bit more defensively with that mastery can still be very strong as far as the little burst of movement that it does give you. It's also kind of scary for Dignitas fans to think that they're now on a 6 straight game losing streak. When you take their loss against TSM, 3 straight losses against CLG, now 2 straight losses against FlyQuest. Yeah. I mean, they have essentially fallen off a cliff. Like, this was a team that was very hyped up. They beat C9. Sky is the limit, it feels like. What has happened to Dignitas? It's kind of crazy.
It seems, at this capacity, it seems almost like it's one of those in your heads, why aren't we doing this? We still have to focus on it, but there's not enough time to, so do we go back to normal play? Obviously all speculation, but think of that while you're playing. Everything becomes so much tougher.
And I think it is a really good point you make, because when you doubt your preparation, when you doubt what has gotten you to where you are, things can go very badly very fast. And we'll see if things are going to go badly for Balls on the top side, as Shrimp has pathed up there on the Gragas. They would love to make an early dive happen, but that actually interrupted the rocket jump.
Is that level 2? Moon's just on the other side. The flash is still there for Altec. No, it is not. Sorry. Wrong call as he goes down. And now they put the damage onto Adrian, so he has to go back.
Yeah, Elimination actually interrupted the rocket jump from Altec, so he didn't get a lot of distance. They're looking to maybe try to pull off a dive, but this is a full HP Cho'Gath, and if this goes bad for Dignitas, it could be the game.
I feel like there's much more that Cho'Gath can do to stop than that Maokai did on the top side, and he does a beautiful job just flashing this time.
They're going to retry the dive. Balls needs to clear out the minion wave. He should be focusing on the minions. He needs to actually push that out, but he doesn't feel like he can. Can he get a turnaround kill?
Stands on his Rupture, looking for a possible silence. Shrimp is
He's still
low.
alive.
He still has zero pressure from anybody, though. No rotation can come from Moon at this point. And the minions, as you said, are piling up. The last few hits, the 1-2. Did he get him? Execution over to Shrimp. What a play to make it 1-1.
Yeah, Balls does not actually get the kill. That's so critical that Dignitas was able to pull off this dive because look at the farm difference, 25 CS to 9. The kill does not go to Balls. He really needed that, but Dignitas, they go for this risky play. They attempt the redive. They are able to pull it off. Credit to Balls for surviving as long as he could. Was a good early flash to avoid the body slam, but once again, is going to be in a tough spot, at least for him. The kill did not go over. And Track, the engage here from Elimination. Altec gets interrupted on the rocket jump. That is the critical problem here. So the rocket jump, he tries to buffer it, but it is too late. So the flash is not going to get him enough room. And they have this kill so guaranteed that they can donate the first blood to Turtle exactly where you wanted. And then this is after the dive has already been attempted once. They set it up again, but Balls is surviving. He gets a summoner out there from Shrimp, and he was really close to actually getting some kills here. I wonder, it's hard to say, maybe he could have tried to fight more aggressively to get some last hits to try to get his heal from the passive, but it's so hard to survive in that situation. Either way, really close to being able to do it.
On second watch, I realized he had basically either a shout or a rupture, and he was out of mana. So I was like, do I clear? Do I save myself? How long can I make?
Tough call, and no flash on Altec. He's getting shredded.
Lost Chapters coming out for the mid lane.
There you go again, the redive.
Back to top. Remember, the flash is down. This should be a quick pound around here for Someday. And kill actually going over to Shrimp that time.
Yeah, Shrimp should
both
not
times.
have actually taken that one. That one, you have to feel like, is one you could donate over to the Jace. Still really, really rough. 4 balls as he's getting picked on. And I mean, now you don't have your TP. So when you die actually after TPing back to the lane, that's when you start losing so much experience. That's when you start really, really struggling. And it's 2 games in a row where he has been picked on. You kind of have to wonder, at least this time around, why Moon is not up there trying to protect him a little bit, because you are so vulnerable without that TP when they already did the first dive. You need either some vision from Moon, you need him in position to at least defend you somewhat, because you don't want to let yourself fall that far behind. And it's kind of right back to game number 2, where it's the tale of 2 lanes. Can Wild Turtle out carry Someday?
Not sure. 29 to 51 right now for Turtle.
Yeah.
The first kill that came through is making that story a possibility.
And critically, he's the one that actually got the kill, right?
Yep.
He has the first blood. Someday didn't get the kill. So despite the fact that he is certainly ahead, it's not one of those insane advantages where he picked up both the kills and then just wins for free. So Turtle, if anything, probably has a bigger goal.
Moon, this is not the first time he's been on this side of the jungle. This is how they capitalized on Altec's kill. So they've been living here. Great ward over the wall from Strip, may be able to prime the cask. But a nice pull out there. Smite away, and red is taken by Moon.
Very smoothly done. And this is a level 6 on the Rek'Sai, so he is going to be pretty powerful. Has been able to actually farm up to that very quickly. And you can see Adrian trying to disengage, but look at Altec getting chunked down, and Turtle's going to be 6 pretty soon. Elimination will hit 6 pretty soon as well, and when you have double level 6, they'll have it before their opponents, and they can actually look for a dive here. Moon does still have his flash. Ignite on Elimination. If you can hit the Prey Seeker, you can certainly burst Altec down with the Rek'Sai ult.
Adrian's at 10% experience right now, and it looks like Altec's making the call to get out. Adrian will follow suit, and they're going to be able to have some damage on this turret, whether or not that turns into a dragon, too.
Yeah, I mean, it feels bad to back off and give up even more farm, but it's the call they have to make. FlyQuest will be able to get first turret, though, off this. That's a red buff on Rek'Sai, and they can just crush this down, so pressure again on Dignitas to make some plays.
Good shield, command, protect, keep keen in the lane. But High has enough mana to take him out. Mid lane rotation by Adrian with the ignite there. Could be enough to kill High. Over the wall, he hits the flash immediately. And the basically 0.7 seconds of command shockwave was enough for High to get out.
Yeah, shockwave not quite overlapped perfectly and is going to be able to get out. This means they do get the dragon as you expected, Riv. So a lot going the way of FlyQuest. And if you actually look at the gold differential, while there is certainly a significant one on the top side, it's 800 advantage up there. This is an over 1,000 gold lead on Turtle, on the key member of FlyQuest. And once again, Balls doesn't have to win lane. Yes, you would like him to, but he just has to stabilize. If he can just stack armor, if he can get to the point where it's like, all right, well, I'm losing, but I'm not losing that badly, that's honestly fine.
He's been in the situation. But to
He's been there before.
To terrible times. We got to remember the Rise level 2 runarounds, right? Remember the lane swaps where his Balls is still level 2? Can they make this work? He's been in some pretty bad situations, so this can break his mentality.
I mean, even last game, right? And they saw that they made it work last game. Well, I don't think it's as easy to teamfight on Cho'Gath as it is on Maokai when you're behind. You still will have some level of effectiveness, right? You just use your feast stacks on minions, you focus on scaling up. You can hit that 6-stack passive on feast, just from minions, right? So you hit that gives you a respectable amount of HP. You don't need to build HP as early because of that. And then you can stack pure armor to deal with the flat penetration that's being purchased from Someday. So he did go for the tabbies. We'll see if he actually goes for a Bramble Vest or if he wants to just go straight towards the Righteous Glory now. It is key to remember, though, that the fact that Balls is behind and the fact that Moon actually went for Warrior means there's no real true front line just yet. Because most people are going Cinderhulk on Rek'Sai, right? They're going Cinderhulk into Knight's Vow. This is a Warrior's Rek'Sai. He will be squishy, but his dueling potential, at least in the early stages, is pretty high. So he's trying to find Shrimp. He's trying to get advantages in that way because your teamfight effectiveness is generally lower on Rek'Sai when you go for the pure damage builds, unless you can zero someone out.
Makes sense for the Moon play. I remember when I was casting with Aiden, we were talking in the lobby, he's like, I just want to play Jarvan. They keep banning it. So he's like, as long as I can get to Jarvan damage, I'll play Rek'Sai and then build aggressively. Here he's getting a little stuck though. Pops up Shrimp. Going to be that help. Man, Shockwave is up. If they do need to use it, tries to jump back to dodge out the kill. That's Moon going down. A little caster curse there for him.
Yeah, I mean, pretty squishy, as we said, with that Warrior. He tries to go in for the aggressive play, but it's Keen that's able to actually make the rotation faster than High, who didn't have those summoners and couldn't quite get over there in time to support him.
Lemon heading up top. Looks like Turtle's just going to back off and take the Krugs for now as everybody starts to reset a bit. Was a flash bone recently there for Keen to get that play in the mix, so they may be repeating back something on mid lane.
That's smart of Turtle. He doesn't actually know where the jungler is or didn't at that time, so he just wants to back off. Despite the fact that he is strong, he still doesn't have a completed item. You can get CC combo down very easily by a Gragas plus an Alistar, so he's going to have to show respect over to that engage. And Someday trying to get over to mid lane to look to pressure wherever he can, really.
Good wards by FlyQuest. Would deny Someday some Fog of War attacks for now. He is trying to get himself Scuttle and a few extra resources so he can be that poke damage. Maybe these objectives become their aggressive spots where they can just keep firing in the Shock Blast and taking out FlyQuest before a Dragon, before a blue buff. Mountain Drake will be the next one, and FlyQuest has already managed to grab one of those. 117 to 84 now, so this isn't being kind of capitalized on just yet. Turtle's just able to farm it out. So I guess in itself, that is the capitalization. Your Kog'Maw is scaling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want to do. But Shockwave's going to pull in high, and he can be in trouble. Nice! Scatter of the week.
Close. Slow him down as well. We get the ult out of Adrian. And Dignitas is kind of going for the touch to go. If we get it, we'll go for it. But it doesn't seem like everybody just wants it immediately. They seem okay with things fizzling out and keeping control.
That's good stuff from High, though. Plays towards the top side where his jungler is, utilizing that Scatter of the Week to just push back the engage that was coming in from Adrian. Knocking off the Moby Boots, very key, and they're looking for Keen.
Nice hit there. Keen gets the tag on. Ultimate for Moon if he does need to get back in for the kill. Great charm on the Elimination. Adrian and Shrimp like shiny things, and they get themselves to safety.
That was also the TP that got canceled out there from Someday, so not only do they get the kill, they get that TP summoner spell down on the Jace, which is going to be very key, and High can push in the mid lane here too, so nice little play there. Good rotation over from Elimination and Moon. Oh, hello!
Who's going to take who for a walk here? Shot away, heal by Turtle. Altec hurt. And they felt like they saw the cavalry coming up the river. Adrian beautifully done, as well as Elimination to save their 80 carries.
I mean, that's two summoners, though, from Adrian, as well as the flash out of Altec. And Elimination able to keep his AD carry alive. And they're even feeling confident enough that they can actually just stay around, knowing that the flashes are down, to farm this out. So certainly goes in the advantage of FlyQuest, you have to say.
Ignite for heal. Let's see what happened here in the mid lane once again. Moon just on the edge. A quick collapse.
Yeah, and it's, look at that engage, how far away Elimination can come from. That's basically from the top of the screen down to the middle of the lane there with that flash RW combo that Rakan is so well known for and covers so much distance, disengaging the CC that was going to come out onto high. So they're the ones that get the kill first, eliminate the damage dealer of Keen, and it's going to go their way.
Makes it so effective as well. It's such a seamless combination. You don't, you're not going to have somebody walk out of it or step somewhere.
Yeah, it's so hard to react to. I mean,
always confident.
It pretty much has to be anticipation that allows you to avoid it.
Exactly.
It's very hard, near impossible, I feel like, to actually react to it once it's already used. You basically have to say, okay, he's probably about to do this, and then as you see him, you use your summoner to try to react.
And then you're a god.
Yep.
That's how that works.
I mean, if Adrian can pull it off, if he can anticipate it properly, you can actually buffer the headbutt on Alistar, and you constantly just target Rakan, you press your W, and if Rakan comes in range, your champion will immediately cast, and you can actually interrupt with your headbutt. So it is possible, but it's super, super hard to actually pull those off. But if you can do it, that can make or break a team fight. Those kind of plays can win you a game.
Absolutely. Would love to see it coming out of this one. If we ever see those two next to each other, we'll definitely keep an eye. Shockwave did catch high just on the outer barrier there. Yeah. He takes a bit of damage. His flash was blown recently as well as a result of the fight.
You can see that these two mid laners are... Oh, Someday actually could be in trouble. He's melee range here, getting first down, but no ultimate is available on balls.
Nom nom. Oh, you're right. Looking at about 60% on that cooldown.
That actually could have been a kill had he still had that up. So despite the fact that Jace is very ahead, I mean, it's stabilizing, right? It's getting to that point. He's only down the 20-some CS now, which is, don't get me wrong, that's a very good advantage, right? But this is not what it was in the early levels where it was like, 25 CS to 9. It's not as impactful as those sort of numbers. Balls has stabilized, and he's a tank. He gets to be a bit behind the Jace.
Trying to look at wards to tunnels right now. Still pretty good warding by FlyQuest. It is shutting down, as we said, Someday's ability to get these shock blasts in. When he's in range, he heads back to top to deal with balls at the moment, and it looks like they could get some more damage here on mid. It's only been a few minions each time. Good wave clear by high. Keen only gets a few shots, but he's had the help of Shrimp. So eventually, they can get Altec up here for just a few more shots. That turret will go down fast.
Yep, and you can see that Balls has hit his 6 feast stacks from the minions, so pretty quick to that mark, and that's going to give him quite a bit of extra health.
Yeah.
Dignitas is pushing up here in the mid lane, though, trying to knock down turrets, trying to really utilize all the pressure that they have put over on high, and that's why you got to kind of see these two mid laners that were trading ultimates back and forth, trying to use it for the lane control. Less about getting kills, more about just the pressure, and it does finally result in that advantage. And Keen, to his credit, has had a pretty solid series. He has been up in farm and in all these games, and he's been trying to hold his own, but it's felt like elsewhere on the map things have been going wrong, or in the macro plays things have been going wrong for them.
Be a Herald, actually, full control on the top side of the map. And it looks like the ping will go down. Balls heads towards the bottom with teleport up. They feel comfortable to be starting any sort of engages, but FlyQuest has not moved their wards toward the top side yet, so they don't know that Adrian's coming.
One of the craziest parts about this to me is that Balls is actually ahead of experience now over the Jace. The fact that Jace has been trying to roam and try to find things to do means he wasn't as focused on just soaking up that experience. And with the level disadvantage, I'm sure he'll catch up soon, but really there's not a lot of an edge there, and it just feels like 3 times in a row, Someday is trying to build for and play for lane advantage and lane dominance, and doesn't feel like he's ever really making good on that promise. They're putting all these resources into him, basically, right? And you need to then get something back from that investment, and they're never doing it.
Ooh, Shockwave out. It actually hits him. A few more coming across. Looks like he's going to be able to all back flash out of the situation. He was just trying to keep the fight in for High. He gets slowed down. High could be in a very big trouble here as the damage comes through. Command Protect gives the ball the distance. Altec just short on participating in that fight, but 2 down for FlyQuest.
Yeah, good play there from Dignitas, catching out Moon, and Moon unable to escape. High comes in and try to assist, but doesn't have his flash to then get out of the ensuing fight. So Dignitas at least getting some advantages there, and Shrimp is quite ahead of Moon again and building for tank, more effective in the team fights, right? He almost has his Knight's Vow completed, so that is going to help Altec out quite a bit here too.
Pressure. Shrimp actually goes down.
That's a red buff on Turtle now, too.
The team behind them. Adrian's going to be slowed here. Good shot. Buster from Alltech gives them a little bit of room, but they could still go very hard on this. Flash is there for both of the teammates. Elimination not going to go in range for it, as they know it's just lane control. They get out of this.
Yeah, and they know how much that flash is worth from the Kog'Maw, so maybe not worth spending it. Nice flash to actually avoid the shockwave, but then good ultimate from Shrimp to slow him down. I think maybe we could have just seen Moon keep running up. He might have actually been out there, but at the same time, I guess Adrian was coming in and he had spotted him on that tri-ward. So he's saying, all right, I'm going to try to get a bit of damage in, try to help out High in this 1v2, see if he can actually burst someone down, but they cannot. And then Shrimp, flashless, does check in. Elimination catches them out, and red buff goes over to Turtle, but he's getting chased down now, and TP is actually coming in from Jace, who is behind Wild Turtle.
They have to. Who can cut who off first? Turtle's out of mana. Turtle flashes forward. He is committed to this fight with the rest of the team. Shrimp's there. Won't have the kill potential as Keen also backs off. And Turtle said, if I can pull the trigger first, we win this.
And that roam was so good. They actually had High and Moon roam up, catch Someday, so he goes down, uses his TP. They're dropping the Rift Herald, which means they can actually establish pressure around the Baron, because you have to answer the Rift Herald or the Baron. They can't do both right now with 3 members on the map. So FlyQuest pushing on all sides. They could threaten the Baron, or at least threaten some of these turrets, and they're managing this game very well, and they're going to start up the Baron Rib. Another early one.
The Rift Herald as well, just outside of range, so it can pile up and will slam into the turret. Gives them extra time to toy with it. You're absolutely right. And just what a clock they're putting Dignitas on.
A sub 21-minute Baron. FlyQuest just seems to be able to pull out these plays at will. Dignitas felt like they were the ones making the play here. They are looking for it. They go up to the top side. They're wanting to try to find this play with Jace TPing in, as they felt that FlyQuest had over-engaged. And you can see that Adrian was running up. The Jace does eventually TP in. The pings are coming down on this ward, so pretty long replay we're running here, but Jace coming in from behind. But FlyQuest has already seen that ward that it was TPing in because of the vision they had down. So somebody doesn't even know that High and them are there, and now another fight.
We're right back in it. Elimination goes down. That last command move gives the kill to Keen. Focus on the balls to get him out of the fight for more crowd control. Throws the Rupture down. Focus could be Adrian, but they have a lot of damage coming from Keen and Alltech on the top side. Rush, and that's the focus now. High forward. High throws down the ultimate and gets Buster's shot back out. Leandri's burn there, and Balls looks for the Rupture long range, but he will keep Keen on the run as the team focuses mid.
Yeah, the key thing there is he just needs to buy time, because Keen is the wave clear. Balls can keep chasing him while his team pushes. Alltech cannot solo defend the turrets with this Baron buff, and Someday was out on a side lane trying to push. He does at least trade 1 turret back, but they will lose 2 in the mid lane, and Balls can now set up for the top lane tier 2 as well, which was already very low from that Rift Herald.
Double Mountain Drake here for FlyQuest as they go through. You would have thought that, thinking of the Dignitas pressure from Someday in the early game, a little bit of control there. Double Mountain Drakes, what would that have done on the Tristana and Someday Jace getting to these turrets? It would have been a much different game, but not focused by Dignitas in the early game. These objectives are now FlyQuest's.
I mean, these are all extremely key dragons that they're picking up, and Dignitas wants to make a play to preempt the Baron push. They look for it. Elimination, able to disengage. Not quite the ultimate you actually want onto Turtle, and Keen barely misses that shockwave. That was like a pixel away from actually catching Turtle on the wall, so Turtle untouched. He is the key member. You just have to follow the Kog'Maw in the fight. Ooh. This guy is so fed and shredding through this front line. Now 4-0. Likely just building towards an IE for maximum damage here, or perhaps even the Essence Fever for the cooldown, but they're catching out another one.
That's going to be Shrimp. Remember, Shrimp just went down to the top lane a little bit ago. Falls here. Adrian, no ultimate from the last fight. FlyQuest is putting on a clinic right now as they start the gauntlet in beautiful fashion.
This is going to be an inhibitor for sure. Somebody's not even basing, so they're just going to go straight for this. Balls is already pushing on the side lanes. They have the backdoor protection removed, and another wave comes in. I mean, Someday needs to base, or they could actually threaten for the game here with the Baron buff. When is he going to come back?
going to be the inhib. Top lane's very hurt, but like you said, being pushed out. So they will rotate down to balls. He already has the lane pushed up, and they still have enough to stay and fight. It looks like Someday is going to do the same for top. No, he starts the back.
Yeah, FlyQuest trying to make the safer call. Remember, in an earlier game, they did go for the end, couldn't pull it off. So now they're trying to get the guaranteed double inhibitor. Someday is back. All of Dignitas is alive. They're going for the engage.
Adrian goes in. They throw the command shockwave down. Is Turtle safe towards the top side? Moon going very low. Adrian as well. Balls towards the back line, taking on 3 as Turtle's able to fire in the damage along with High on that Syndra. Moon stays alive with a sliver of health as they all high-five and head out of the base.
And they're actually going to play it really safe, just going for the base here. Want to heal back up, but Someday looking for Turtle, and the Bear buff just expired off him, so he doesn't have the empowered recall.
It's a lot of damage from Someday. They still need to watch out if they take these fights in bad positioning, but at this point, that's a little hard.
It is. I mean,
We'll see it again.
once again, it's all about the Kog'Maw. Turtle gets it back, not hit by the shockwave, and he is free firing. The rest of the fight almost doesn't matter. As long as Turtle is doing damage, they will win the fight. And look at him shredding through these guys. The front line from FlyQuest actually being more effective now at this point because Turtle just punches out so much damage, and High doing very well for himself also. You know, they've bought up some elixirs. They feel the sweep is within grasp, and they are looking to finish out the game on this push.
FlyQuest fans are soaring right now. A 5,000 gold lead puts the team in the same place as they really only have one lane left to finish. They can keep them on Baron's side. Everything right now playing in their favor here, and the map is currently objective free. It's just what's in front of them.
Yeah, popping that elixir straight in to finish off this last turret. Inhibitors down in 2 lanes. They just have to wait for them to do their work. Let those minions push in, create pressure. When the people respond, FlyQuest can actually move forward. They're in such a good spot. Turtle has both his summoners, is on 3 items, and Freak would be proud seeing the Essence Reaver built up, I know. This is a build that he feels is very strong and can be really powerful since Kog'Maw has to play so much around the W for that attack speed, for the range. They're going for the engage!
Great hit, and it looks like Keem's gonna be going down immediately. Altex fast to follow as they hit the DPS immediately and drop it to 0 for Dignitas. Shrimps now in the eyes of the rest of the team as that's Adrian getting turned into mincemeat. FlyQuest will look for the Nexus. 3 straight games in a row to keep their world's hope alive, and they go on to face Counter Logic Gaming tomorrow.
What a series from FlyQuest, going against all expectations, absolutely decimate Dignitas, who ends their season on such a low note. Dignitas with 7 straight losses to finish the season, swept by CLG, swept by FlyQuest, who now you have to think are really changing people's predictions, changing people's expectations going forward, because no one really gave them a chance coming into today's series against Dignitas. I mean, this was a team that was almost in relegation, and made it look like Dignitas maybe should have been there. I mean, they made this series look easy, and Wild Turtle in particular, to me, stood out so much today. I think he played some of the best League of Legends that I've seen him play in quite a long time. He was fantastic in all 3 games, really carrying a lot of the weight for this team, and they've got to be making CLG second-guess themselves a little bit here. I mean, I'm sure that CLG was expecting Dignitas tomorrow.
I actually cannot wait for that match because I look at the bot lane and what just happened, and CLG has been focusing Xayah Rakan, and so has FlyQuest. That is the main priority for these 2 teams, so they may have to lose out on both of that or decide, what do we trade? How do we break up the combination? FlyQuest today playing absolutely amazing, and I actually think coming off of the finals, the 3rd, 4th place match, they found Dignitas in a rut. Dignitas not playing to their game and also making a few uncharacteristic errors where they usually have a game to take to 30, then do those objective control fights that they had. FlyQuest was way too fast at the pace and did everything before Dignitas could.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like FlyQuest was getting a 20-minute bear in every game just about.
Exactly.
The pace at which they were playing was very, very impressive. And you know, we haven't seen FlyQuest in a long time. So despite the fact that the last time we had seen them, they weren't really playing at the best form, they have had 5 weeks to practice. They have very clearly put in the work. They have very clearly cleaned up some of their play. And now it's hard to know how far they can go, because this is a team that was supposed to be the ones getting swept today. They were not supposed to be the ones looking so dominant. And if Turtle Elimination can play this good in the bot lane, it's going to be tough for any team.
As well, you see a little bit more from Moon here, branching out into some of the junglers we haven't seen recently, allowing for a little bit others. Yeah, especially Nidalee is to where they were probably saying, oh, we can attack that. And then Moon came in full force with the rest of the team. FlyQuest behind each other today. And for more on that victorious win, we are going to head stage side, where Avali has an interview with FlyQuest mid laner.
Thanks, guys. Great cast on the day. I am here with Hai. First of all, congratulations, 3-0 against Team Dignitas. High pressure. It was all or nothing. Is this another start of a gauntlet run?
I hope so. It'd be cool. You know, last time we started off 0-2 both times and then reverse swept. And now it'd be a cool story if we just sweep everybody, right? I don't think that's going to happen, but it'd be cool.
Where's the confidence? You got to have confidence if you're coming into these.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm confident, but I'm not dumb, so.
Oh, well, FlyQuest has had the most time for preparation out of all the teams. What's the difference between this new FlyQuest and the FlyQuest right out of the end of the split?
Well, I think during the season, the meta was really hard for me personally. We were playing a lot of champions that, I don't necessarily excel at. But with the recent changes to a lot of mid lane champions, I think we're back in the meta. So I think that's the biggest change.
Now, a lot of FlyQuest fans are going to be super excited after today. But there are some people in the community who are thinking, well, what does FlyQuest have to offer to represent NA in Worlds? What's your response to that?
Well, if we win, then that's enough proof to show that we deserve to be there because we're starting from the bottom. It's not like we just lucked out one best of 5. And even then, it's hard to win a best of 5, right? So if we beat all the teams and we make it there and people say we don't deserve it, well, I don't think that that's smart, so.
There you go. Well, tomorrow you go against CLG. Do you have any thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's going to be really hard because CLG plays very interestingly, to say the least. And then mid lane champ pool is not ideal to play against. So it's going to be definitely super hard for us, and we'll do our best to pull through.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in tomorrow's games. And that's it for us here. We're going to throw it on over to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. FlyQuest, 3 games out of the 9 they need in order to qualify for Worlds, and they've done it in shutout fashion today against Dignitas. 3-0, as Azale said, it was expected to go the other way. For it to be this much of a stomp in FlyQuest's favor is probably surprising to most.
I mean, it's a new org, new MO. You're out of C9. That's the reverse sweep one. You move to FlyQuest. They just sweep into the gauntlet.
Straight to the point. Efficiency over on FlyQuest.
They're getting older. They don't have the energy to do it anymore,
So we gotta, High's like, we gotta get this done soon. Otherwise, I'm gonna collapse. But this game 3 here, of course, kind of mirrored game 2 in a sense that we had a lead built in the bot lane from FlyQuest, a lead built in the top lane from Dignitas, and once again, FlyQuest wins out with the gold being on Wild Turtle.
Yeah, definitely some stuff they're going to have to work on in the next 20 hours before they play CLG, but all the dives and getting killed in the top lane over and over again is definitely not what they want. But the fact that Turtle and Lemon played so well is super promising for this team because we're very much in a meta where it's difficult to carry through your top lane unless you're Longju in Korea, or you carry through your bot lane with control mages in the mid. So in that way, it's working because Hai isn't dying in laning phase. He's staying safe, shot calling and being control mage in team fights. And if Turtle and Lemon are crushing, this team can go places.
And I think this is a great game for Dignitas to try and play that kind of top dominant Longju style. This time they actually take the Jace instead of Renekton, something that when it gets out of control, it really can blow the game open. And it did get pretty big, but at some point you do kind of need to transition it to your team. And when Dignitas made that attempt, it all fell apart.
Right, very much so. 20 minutes into the game, we saw the attempt from Dignitas to collapse with a TP out of Someday. FlyQuest catches it on both ends and comes away with 2 kills and a Baron.
Yeah, this entire sequence was absurd because FlyQuest already have double mountain for the turrets and the Baron, but Adrian and Altec just not on the same page with Shrimp. And even with Someday, like, he didn't have vision of anything other than a ward he teleported in on, so he just gets obliterated, and there goes your top lane advantage.
That's your goal.
That you spent the first 10, 15 minutes of the game building.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, the expectation there is that he's supposed to be able to do work in the side lane. Again, against a Cho'Gath that has very few items, very few defensive stats. He should be able to rip through him in the 1v1, but FlyQuest able to kind of force those engages in a sense because of, Dignitas freaking out about the advantages that are growing, definitely bit him.
It's kind of a meme at this point, too, about the whole FlyQuest shot calling thing. But they did show good decisiveness about when they want to go. Game 1, it was a risky bear, what they went for. Game 2, they win a teamfight at Dragon, run up their force again. This time, very well executed. And then once again here, a 20-minute play that goes in their favor. They drop the Rift Herald, they get some more pressure on the map, and they force on Baron getting extremely early with the double mountain and Cho'Gath to secure. So just overall, they are playing this mid-game out very well. They do have some substantial leads, which is how fed their AD carry is getting. But it's still very promising looking forward.
Now for Dignitas, though, this is the end of their season here. And as Azael said, a disappointing end at that, based on the trajectory from about week 5, week 6 coming into playoffs, suggested they might be a contender for Worlds.
Yeah, 3-0'd by COG, 3-0'd by FlyQuest. This team was very boom. It felt like they were super tilted towards the end even. And like, when you see a very committed team lose, the players do look crushed. Dignitas just looked burnt out. Like, they were just, I'm done with this. They were done with the season. Something must have happened with that team. I actually have no inside knowledge on what is happening, but based on their performance and their reactions after the game, something must have broke.
And it's definitely the most telling thing that was like the bot lane that fell apart, right? And it seemed like they just super over-indexed on top side, because when they started making that resurgent change midway through the split, it was their bot lane was playing really well. They were playing for their bot lane, and someday it was like, hey, my team's winning, I can just help. And you just see a complete flip of styles here, where it's suddenly back to the someday carry our team show, and it's just not at all what's working.
Reverted back, for them, back towards that someday carry. But for Dignitas, the season is over. For FlyQuest, it was a team effort to earn that 3-0. We'd like to recognize one player who stood above the rest to earn player of the series. And today, that player is Wild Turtle, the guy who comes in replacing Alltech on FlyQuest.
And he's a streaky player, but he's also a big player. Yeah, I'm cut off. There's only one way to go, forward. So, I mean, this is just a guy who, when he's on, is so fun to watch. And it wasn't just his decision-making. His mechanics were on point this series. You saw him sidestepping a lot of skill shots and seeing stuff like that over the course of it. And this bodes well in some sense for the matchup versus CLG. They were a team that was struggling in the bot lane against everyone but Dignitas. And, you know, this here, FlyQuest destroyed the Dignitas bot lane. Just look at that stats from Wild Turtle.
Yeah, high KDAs for a player who plays super aggressively and is not a KDA player just goes to show you the percentage he was essentially shooting on all of his flashes forward. They were almost all working this day.
Yeah, very much so. FlyQuest begin their gauntlet run with a 3-0 over Team Dignitas. That means they'll face Counterlogic Gaming tomorrow as they continue their mission to attend Worlds. Now, while there may have been some who doubted FlyQuest's ability to fight for that third seed, fans came out on Twitter to show their support for the squad of Worlds veterans. The question is, will that support continue to propel them to take down CLG as well?
Suddenly we're in a situation of a rematch from the spring split, when FlyQuest did reverse sweep CLG. And both of these teams do feel like they have a little bit of a new look, right? CLG swapped out their jungler twice since then. They look great against Dignitas. FlyQuest had 6 weeks off, and they look great against Dignitas, but much in the same way. A smashing bottom lane, and then ability to make plays around the map. So you have to try and separate how much that was Dignitas underperforming and how much of it is built from what they've done in the last 6 weeks.
There is always that factor, like Dignitas fell apart more than FlyQuest stepped up. You have to ask that question. But this is as convincing of a win as you could hope for out of FlyQuest.
Right.
And especially when you match up versus CLG, if your bot lane can have a similar performance this one versus Dig, and your top lane can hold on versus Darshan, it's actually not out of the world a possibility that FlyQuest does win that matchup.
That's my question for you, though. Can Balls hold on against Darshan? Because as was mentioned, yes, someday did get some advantages, but we've seen CLG transition top lane advantages into more success.
I think that's the scary thing. It's just like it's less likely to turn into the Darshan carry show and more like your Shen now has 2 kills and now he's TPing bot side. I think they will transition a little bit better.
Go ahead, put this point in, but I got...
What I find interesting now is FlyQuest, C9, and CLG are actually full of Worlds veterans. So it has also been a reset of sorts for many of them. C9 has had 4 weeks off. FlyQuest had 6 weeks off before this. So in a sense, it's like this new split where teams have been boot camping for the past 4 to 6 weeks, and everyone's experienced with a good pedigree, so it's incredibly hard to predict.
I was going to say we're pretty comfortable ignoring the mid lane in this matchup. High versus Keen didn't necessarily seem to sway the results of this series too much, but when we talk about who he, again, being a top performer for CLG more recently and throughout the playoffs has very much performed individually, I've got to wonder if, again, those solo lanes for CLG really start to take over against FlyQuest.
I think that's one thing that is good to point out, just because in the 2 games that Hai had Galio, it looked fine. Then on the Syndra game, he actually fell relatively far behind the Orianna, and it wasn't that big of a factor, but there were some misplays around mid lane between him and Moon. It's something that when you make those mistakes versus Huhi, suddenly he's all over the map, he's running your team around and making big plays, and I think there are still a lot of areas here where for FlyQuest, you're very scared. But like I said, I think this was a great showing, inspiring confidence for fans.
Say 3-0s in both cases makes for a very exciting matchup between FlyQuest and CLG tomorrow. That's going to do it for us here. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.